What's up, everybody? So I went and got the Audi, had it do the emissions test for here in Georgia, and it passed. So I went down to the tag office to go get tags on it, and found out that I'm missing some freaking paperwork. But the dealership that I bought the car from, I called them this morning as soon as I left the tag office, and they've got all the paperwork that I need. I just got to go pick it up, but I wasn't able to go get it today, so I'm gonna have to go tomorrow. So really disappointed. I actually got done working early today. I mean, it's been pouring down rain most of the day, so it's not that big of a deal. But I was kind of hoping that it would I'd be able to register it and drive it around for the rest of this afternoon, take it through its paces, run it through a couple heat cycles and everything, and just make sure that the car is performing the way that I want it to. But because I'm missing one chain of custody form, because this car was basically sold to CarMax. CarMax transferred it to another CarMax, and then they sold it at auction to the dealer I bought it from, and they assigned it to me. Well, I have the CarMax to CarMax transfer paperwork, and I've got the dealership that I bought it from to me transfer, but I'm missing the transfer from CarMax to the dealership I bought it from. And when I called them, they said, yeah, they've got it in the file. Don't know why I didn't get it, but no, neither here nor there. It's not a big ordeal. But once I get that piece of paper, I'll be able to get the car registered and take it out and run it through its paces. But I'm really excited, but I'm also kind of disappointed at the same time. I understand shit happens. I don't hold any grudges. It is what it is. Simple mistake. But yeah, it's kind of like a bittersweet day. I was able to get off early and get the Audi up and get the emissions done on it, and it passed. And I go to freaking get the tags, and I get stopped right when I'm at. I mean, I went all the way to the tag office, handed the lady all the paperwork, my license, had my card out ready to pay, and she was typing through everything, and she got, I'm missing a chain of custody. Shit. So, yeah. But no big deal. I'll get it registered either tomorrow, day after. I mean, I may have to wait until this weekend, or not this weekend because they're not open on the weekend, but I may have to wait until another day later in the week. I may even have to take a day off or try and get off early so that I can go get it registered. That's why I was really hoping that I could do it today. It's why it's really disappointing, because I knew I had an easy, quick job that I would be able to have enough time to do the emissions inspection and do the registration. But I'll follow up after I've got it registered.
What's up, everybody? So I was finally able to get the Audi registered. Just got done putting tags on it, and I'm getting ready to take it out onto the street for the first time as a registered vehicle. So I haven't had a chance to drive it very much. I drove it to get emissions done on it, and that's been it, other than the couple pulls that you saw in the last videos. So I'm gonna take it out for a cruise, see how she does, see if it pulls the way that I remember it pulling. Now this still is a factory tune. I have not done the stage 1 upgrade. I have not done any changes to the compressor maps or anything like that. So oh, there's a deer freaking out because her baby's on the other side of my driveway and I'm driving through them. But anyway, so there's nothing done to the compressor maps or anything like that. So what I am looking at doing is just seeing how the stock performance is of this thing. I'll once I get a good baseline on this thing, make sure everything's working good, take it through its paces, get it through a couple heat cycles. After I complete a few heat cycles and get a couple miles on it, make sure nothing's goofy, then I'll start doing my tuning. Now, I already have tunes that are written for my old car, but this car is not built the same, so I don't want to go throwing the same tune in here. I mean, it would work, because my stage 1 tune was just increasing the boost pressure. I didn't change any of the fueling aspects. I didn't change any timing aspects. All I did was increase the boost further up into the line, or further up into the rev range. So once I get done establishing a baseline on this thing, then I'll really start messing with it and put it through its paces and see if I can find a yeah, this thing freaking pulling pretty good. I mean, it's not super fast because, like I say, it's still stock tune, but she runs good. She's got good pull. Still feels like it handles exactly the same as my last one. And now fourth gear pull. Yeah, it's not putting out a whole lot of boost, and I don't have my dash mount boost gauge in here yet. I haven't bought one yet. I'm planning on doing the exact same vent mount gauge that I had in my last one. I want to say it's Southwest Industries or Southwire Industries, or I can't remember what the name of the company is, but it comes with the vent gauge and or the vent pod, and it comes with a gauge where the lights match the rest of the interior lights, and I really like it. But I mean, man, this thing feels amazing. I love this car. Oh my God. Yes. We are in business. Woo! Yes! God, I miss this car. And it's not even tuned yet. Wait until this damn thing's tuned. I'm gonna have so much freaking fun. Oh, I can't wait. Next thing I'm gonna do is the straight pipe exhaust. I may include it in this video, I may not. God, this is so much fun. I miss this car so much. You guys have no idea how much I really have a love for the B6 platform. I absolutely love these cars. They're by far my favorite car to drive. Now, God, I just can't get rid of the damn smile off my face. I love this freaking car. So I'm also going to try and go over the build cost in this towards the end of this video. I'm going to try and break down exactly what it cost me to purchase the car, purchase the A6, all the repair work that I did. Now, I did have to do a little bit of extra repair work versus the last time that I built one of these cars, but on my last build I had to change every stitch of interior, and that cost me a pretty good penny for all the interior last time. So I'm not going to have that expense that I had last time. So I think I'm going to be in a much better position. I believe, without actually looking at the numbers, I believe I am very close to all in taxes, registration, insurance, all repairs, everything, right at around the $2,000 mark for this car. And this thing is so much freaking fun to drive like this. And like I say, once I get a good baseline on this thing, and I'm verifying that the fans are cutting on when they're supposed to, making sure my temperature's not exceeding what it's supposed to, making sure I'm not getting any bumps in my RPMs or glitches, any speedo glitches or anything like that, any hesitation or misfires or anything along those lines. Now, I still have a little bit of a rumble from where the downpipes are getting extremely close to the transmission cross member. So if you remember in one of the build videos, I had to cut that ear off of the transmission cross member so that the catalytic converter could fit. I believe when I go to my downpipes, to my aftermarket downpipes, I won't have this issue. Now, I've never put a set of aftermarket downpipes on one of my builds. I've always done either stock exhaust or I've done piggy pipes. So this will be the first time that I'm actually going to put a full header back exhaust on a car, or on one of these B6s. I've done header back exhaust on plenty of cars, but on a B6 platform, this will be the first one that I'm doing a header back. I mean, I had a high flow cat on my 1.8T with a APR stealth exhaust on it, and it was nice, but I'm looking at doing full catless system, straight pipe, the whole 9 yards, if if I go full bore with this thing. If I don't go full bore with this thing, I'll keep the cats on it. I'll keep rear O2 sensors and all that stuff, and I'll keep the emissions intact as much as possible, because I don't want to disable any of the emissions. They do serve a purpose. I'll only fiddle with the ones that I absolutely have to in order to get the performance that I want, but other than that, I'm going to leave most of the emissions intact, mostly because I don't want any issues with freaking cops or EPA or anything like that. I don't need any trouble. I'm just one lonely guy trying to do some fun shit with my car. So, but this thing is driving amazingly well, which all the other times that I've built them, they drove really well. But this one is actually, it's extremely smooth for the original drive on a fresh build. I have had issues in the past where motor mounts needed to settle, and I needed to break them loose and let them settle in with the motor running and shit like that. But I did not do that on this one. I'll probably wind up doing that later this week. But I wanted to take it out for a drive, especially since I just got the tags for it earlier this morning. I had a little issue with the paperwork, and I met up with the dealer yesterday and got the necessary paperwork that I needed, and then I went this morning and got the tag. So this has been my first chance to actually drive the car and put it through its paces out here on the regular street, and I am thoroughly enjoying this. This is a blast. So I'm gonna do a couple more rips, take it back to the house, check all the fluids, make sure everything looks kosher, and then I'll go over the build cost. And this car came with a dash camera in it, and the suspension is so soft in this thing, when you hit a pothole, it thinks that you've had an accident. So I'm gonna have to freaking work on that and see what the hell I can do about that. But I am gonna replace the entire front suspension on this thing. All new upper control arm, or upper arms, lower control arm, new shocks. I may try and find 2002 sport springs, because that's the lowest factory suspension that was available on a B6, and that's actually what I started out with. My Nagaro blue A4 had the sport suspension on it. So, and I love the way that thing sat. And then now the next thing that I'll do after I do that is obviously I'm going to change these wheels. I don't really like these wheels. I'm still going to go with a factory Volkswagen or Audi wheel, but I don't like these wheels that are on here. I'm in a debate whether I want to do the RS6 rotors, the skinny blades 19s, or if I want to do the old school S4, like 14 spoke or 16 spoke, whatever the hell. I'm sure everybody that knows anything about S4s knows what wheel I'm talking about. But I thought about doing those with 20s. But I don't want to go any lower than 18, and the ones that are on here are 17. Every A4 B6 that I've had has had much wider wheels. God, this thing is fun. Jesus, this thing flies. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking at doing factory Audi wheels or Volkswagen wheels, and I'll just buy Audi center caps to put in whichever style wheels that I get. That's what I did with the Black Thunder wheels that I had on my Nagaro blue and on my previous black B6 with the 2.7 swap. I bought the VW Black Thunder wheels off of a guy that had a CC, and he put some 20-inch Avantis on his car, so he got rid of the Black Thunders. And I just took the VW caps out, and I bought some RS6 caps from off of eBay in Germany, and had them sent over, and they matched in perfect. It looked amazing. So I'm gonna try and go the same route, not the same wheel, but I want to do basically the same thing. I want to keep the wheels stock on the Volkswagen Audi platform. But other than that, that's the basic gist of where I'm going. I'm like I say, I may include the straight piping the rear section of the exhaust in this video. I may not. It depends on how long the breakdown of the build cost takes. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm gonna do one more real good rip in this thing when I turn onto my street, and we're gonna see what this thing will actually do, because I have yet to get this thing over 80. So I don't really want to go over 100 on a back road, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this thing is so much fun to drive, and I keep cruising in fifth, forgetting that it's a damn 6-speed. I mean, I don't know why, because my Renegade's a 6-speed, but it's probably because it's so quiet. I can at least hear my Renegade. I can't hear this one other than the downpipes every once in a while rattling against the transmission crossmember. Alright, second gear pull. Shit, almost went into first gear. Jesus Christ, this thing is fun. Oh my God. I'm having a damn blast. I need to get out of this car before I get a damn ticket. This thing is too much fun. God, and the way this thing holds and turns. That's what I love about the all-wheel drive platform, or this all-wheel drive platform. I've driven other all-wheel drive platforms, and they still handle well, but I love the way this thing digs into the corners. Oh man, this is so much fun. Jesus. Alright, I gotta let it cool down. I can't keep doing all these pulls. Oh God, this is so much fun. Oh man. Oh, good days, good days, good days. I don't think I could even wipe this smile off my face even if I wanted to. I love this car. Event. See? Event. All I did was freaking pulled into my driveway. Which, my driveway is bumpy as shit. But that's my first drive. I heard the fan kick on 2 or 3 times. I did quite a few pulls in it. I'm gonna let it sit and idle for about 2 minutes when I get down here to the house, and we'll pick up with the cost of the build. Alright guys, so now what I want to do is I want to go over what the total build cost on the car was, and I'm going to include a breakdown of all the prices and parts that I purchased. I'm not going to include any part numbers or anything like that. I'm just going to give a price breakdown so you have a general idea of how much this cost. So I was incorrect when I did the first video on the A4. I actually paid $900. Now that I'm looking at my receipt, for some reason I had 800 stuck in my head, but I paid $900 for the A4, and then I bought the A6 off of Copart, and the bid that won the car was $400. Now that's not what I paid for the total service bill for Copart. The car was $400. The A6 was $400, and then there was $182.50 buyer fee. Then there was an internet bid fee of $30, and then there was sales tax for the vehicle, which was $45. And then I also had to pay a $154 delivery fee with $4.13 sales tax on that delivery fee. Okay, that's the purchase of the 2 vehicles and getting them brought to my house. That's what I had in that.
Now, as far as the repairs go for the car, I spent $104 on a full head gasket set. So all the gaskets from the head, intake manifold, exhaust manifold, valve cover gaskets, the whole 9 yards, everything from the heads up. And that was $104. The timing belt kit with the water pump was $100. And then the lower oil pan was $46. And then the thermostat and the housing combined together was $46. I also included my purchase of the Galletto software. I actually used to have a copy of that software, and I don't know what happened with it. I might have given it away when I sold my last car. So I did include that $32 in purchasing, or in the cost breakdown of this car. Then the aluminum intake tube that I had to buy to make my intake, that was $21. And then I had the map sensor issue, and I did not buy a new map sensor. I bought a used map sensor off of eBay, and it worked, and it was $37. And then I had to get the 2 black silicone couplers for each side of the intake, and those were $21 for both of them, so they were $10.50 a piece. And then oil and oil filter, Mobil 1 with Mobil 1 filters, $45 with the special at the local AutoZone here. And then I spent roughly $45 between antifreeze and distilled water because I had to drain the dang coolant system twice. So I was a little bit high on my antifreeze cost. It shouldn't have been that high. But because I had to drain it to fix the thermostat and thermostat housing, it kind of cost me a little bit extra. And then the taxes, tag, and all that stuff to actually register the vehicle and get the license plate on the car was $262. And then I had to pay $18 for an emissions test. And then I just included $50 for miscellaneous expenses like solder and heat shrink and things like that, because I don't really have the receipts for those, but I wanted to include just miscellaneous expenses. That would also include my exhaust clamps, because my exhaust clamps were only like $10 a piece. So, and I only bought 2 of them. So the total build cost, that includes everything: registering it, emissions inspection, having the cars brought here to my house, everything was just a shade over $2,500. Now, the last time that I built my B6 swap, I did not include the registration cost or the emissions cost or anything like that. So if you get rid of the emissions cost, the registration cost and all that, you're essentially looking at $2,200. So I built this car for roughly $1,000 cheaper than I did the last time that I built it. And I did not have to change out any of the interior. The last car that I built, like I've said several times, I had to change out every single piece of interior in that car. It started out with brown interior, and I took the gray interior out of my Nagaro Blue B6 and put it into the black car. And then I found a wrecked S4 with all black interior that the guy was selling for cheap. So I wound up pulling all the gray interior that I had just put in the freaking black car, pulled it out so that I could put the S4 black interior in there. So, and thankfully with this car, I did not have to do that. The only interior work that I'm going to have to do to it is I'm going to replace the headliner and the A, B, and C pillars so that they're all black. But that's a full breakdown of the cost of the build. And like I say, I'm going to include a breakdown of that down in the description below the video if you're curious as to what the full breakdown of it is. But that's going to do it for this section of the build. From here on out, it's going to be doing performance modifications and seeing what I can do with the overall improvement of the vehicle. This is the end of basically a complete base model build. Because like I say, I still have not done any tunes. All the parts on the car are 100% stock. The only modified part on the car from a stock component is the exhaust, and that's just because I cut a section out and pieced it together, but it's still all factory parts. So I have not gutted any of the catalytic converters. I don't have high flow cats. I haven't changed the compressor maps or anything. This is a 100% bone stock 2.7 in a 100% bone stock B6 3.0. So now that that is complete, like I say, I'm going to start getting into the performance modifications, the body enhancements, and things of that nature, suspension tuning, rebuilding the suspension, all that kind of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed the process through the build. I'm no longer going to be labeling them as B627 build or swap, because this is the final video of that swap. Now, everything from this point on will just be modifications that I'm doing to the swapped vehicle. So I was going to include the straight piping the exhaust, but I decided, because I want to do this as a straight bone stock swap and have that be the complete swap, I'm going to end the video now, and then I will, on my next video dealing with the Audi, it will go over doing the straight pipe exhaust, and then doing a couple other modifications that I plan on doing. I'll probably go over how I'm going to change the compressor maps in the ECU and give it basically its stage 1 tune. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video series. I plan on doing quite a few of these video series with different style vehicles. It may take me a little bit to get going, because even though this car was relatively inexpensive, I still have a lot of expenses for just living and paying bills around the house and whatnot. So this is, I'm doing this in my spare time. Now, if this ever gets to a point where I'm actually generating revenue from things that I'm doing on this channel, then I will reinvest all the money that I'm making off the channel into providing content for the channel. So I'm nowhere near that point yet. I'm not even thinking about that. I just want to present tutorial information or learning information for people that may help them in their own desires to build custom cars. So I do have a little snafu with the Veloster. My daughter was not approved to go over to South Korea with her husband, because there were some higher ups in the military that wanted to get their spouses over there, and because he's lower on the totem pole, he does not have priority. So she should be able to reapply in a couple months, but that's going to put a delay on me getting the Veloster, because I'm not going to take the Veloster until she is out of this house and over in Korea or Japan, whichever country she winds up going to. So it may be several months before I get my hands on the Veloster, but I'm going to start looking for another project to do while I'm waiting for the Veloster. So I'm going to start perusing Craigslist and eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and basically just wherever I can find, to find basically a shell. Because I don't give a shit what motor's in whatever car I buy. I'm going to swap and build whatever I buy. So hope you guys will continue to come along with me for the journey. I really hope you enjoyed the video series, and y'all have a great one, and hope to see you in the next video.